Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Bold and the Beautiful had Ridge Forrester humiliate Taylor Hayes while taunting Brooke Logan, in what B&B viewers see as a sickening scene this week on the CBS soap. Ridge had to make the same choice he faced many times before. He needed to pick between Brooke and Taylor. But instead of dragging this on for weeks and across a few continents, this time he did it all within one room and in one episode. Bold and the Beautiful zoomed in on Ridge Forrester's Thorsten Kaye face several times as he delivered his speech to the two women he loves. His expressions seemed to indicate he enjoyed himself. Speaking of facial expressions, you couldn't miss the smirk on Brooke Logan's, Katherine Kelly Lang, face when she thought she was the winner of this round. Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budwig, weathered this bold and beautiful storm with tears streaming down her worried-looking face. For a moment there, it looked like he was about to say goodbye to Taylor and take Brooke into his arms. But no, he played his game while humiliating these two women, and both of them humiliated themselves by standing there hoping to get the prize, Ridge. While we all knew that Bold and the Beautiful would have Ridge Forrester in another quandary over which woman to pick, this wasn't his usual MO. Luckily for the fans, he didn't drag this on, like the many other times he faced this choice. But what he did was just awful. First off, there's Taylor, who listens to him tell her in a roundabout way that she is his second choice. He looks at Taylor and reminds her that Brooke always was his Logan, and he needed to say this with Taylor there, really? While he was spouting off, if Brooke was a peacock, her feathers would be spread wide open. She took great satisfaction in hearing he loved her and she was his destiny. That is until he ripped it all away. While Ridge Forrester pretty much told the truth this week on Bold and the Beautiful, it was awful to see Taylor go through this. For a while there, Brooke Logan looked like she was on top of the world, as Ridge seemed to be moving toward dismissing Taylor. But that wasn't the case. Brooke got her turn for tears when Ridge flipped the switch. He told Brooke that he loves her and alluded to Taylor being a safer bet for him, so Taylor Hayes is his future. Still, Taylor had to listen to Ridge profess his love for Brooke. His words indicated that Taylor is his second choice, but since he couldn't trust Brooke, he's going with Taylor. Now here is the question swirling online today. Who were those tears for that Taylor shed after it was over and she was deemed the prize winner? Both Brooke and Taylor were in pain on Bold and the Beautiful this week, as they were both at Ridge's mercy. But Taylor's tears were probably shed for a few reasons. At first, it sounded like Ridge was about to throw Taylor over for Brooke. Standing there listening to Ridge Forrester go down memory lane with Brooke Logan likely devastated Taylor into tears. But Taylor's tears kept coming once Ridge made it clear he picked her over Brooke. Maybe a few of those tears were for Brooke, who walked out of the room humiliated after some false hope from Ridge. But maybe Taylor now realizes what being with Ridge really means for her future. Despite Ridge Forrester choosing Taylor on Bold and the Beautiful this week, she is now 100% positive that she will always be second best. His love belongs to Brooke, but because he cannot trust her, with her ongoing betrayals, he picked Taylor. So, unless you are really desperate, no woman wants to enter into a relationship with a man who loves another woman more. And admits it. Although she's always known that Ridge loves Brooke, this time there's no doubt about it for Taylor Hayes, she is his second choice. She has to see this, and she'd be smart to end it now. Bold and Beautiful fans suggest it is just a matter of time before Ridge is back in Brooke's bed. This is likely the same reason Taylor Hayes looked sad once back in Ridge Forrester's arms. She knows it too. She may have Ridge now, but it is only borrowed time for Taylor on the CBS soap. The world of high fashion, power, and passion had always been at the heart of Forrester Creations, but behind the glamour lay an intricate web of love, betrayal, and heartbreak. Ridge Forrester, the charismatic designer, had always found himself torn between two women who defined his existence, Taylor Hayes and Brooke Logan. For years, they had been caught in a seemingly endless love triangle, each vying for Ridge's heart. But this time, the stakes were higher, the emotions rawer, and the consequences more devastating. Taylor Hayes had always been Ridge's anchor, the woman who grounded him when chaos loomed over his life. She had loved him with a selfless devotion, standing by his side through the worst of times. When Ridge rekindled their romance, she believed it was fate bringing them together again. He had promised her the world, vowing that this time, she would be his one and only. But whispers of doubt lingered in the back of her mind. Could she ever truly be Ridge's first choice, or was she merely the fallback when things with Brooke went awry? Despite her reservations, she surrendered herself to the possibility of a renewed love, allowing herself to dream of a future filled with security, passion, and undying devotion. Taylor's illusion of happiness was shattered in the most humiliating way imaginable. It happened at a grand gala at Forrester Creations, an event meant to celebrate a new fashion line that Taylor had helped inspire. Surrounded by friends, family, and the press, she stood beside Ridge, basking in the glow of their apparent rekindled love. Then came Brooke. Dressed in a stunning crimson gown that accentuated her undeniable allure, Brooke Logan was a force of nature. As she approached Ridge, there was an unmistakable fire in her eyes, a challenge, a question, and an unspoken demand. Taylor watched, her heart pounding, as Brooke reached for Ridge's hand. "Ridge," Brooke whispered, her voice carrying a weight that made the entire room silent. "Tell me the truth. Are you really over me, or am I still the woman you love?" Ridge froze. The air grew thick with tension. Taylor's fingers clenched into fists at her sides, her breath shallow, dreading the words that were about to escape his lips. He hesitated. That hesitation said more than words ever could. And then, with the entire world watching, he finally spoke. "Taylor, I thought I could do this," he admitted, his voice low but unmistakably resolute. "I thought choosing you was the right thing. I thought it would make sense. But the truth is, my heart still belongs to Brooke. It always has. It always will." The words were a dagger to Taylor's soul. Gasps echoed throughout the room. The betrayal, the humiliation, the absolute destruction of her dignity. It was all unfolding before her, and there was no escape. Taylor's face burned with humiliation, but she refused to let tears spill in front of the vultures eagerly watching her downfall. With the grace she had always carried, she took a deep breath and met Ridge's eyes with an unreadable expression. "I was your second choice," she said, her voice trembling but unwavering. "I was always your second choice, and I was foolish enough to believe that could ever change." She turned on her heel and walked away, leaving behind the man who had once been the center of her universe. Ridge called after her, but she didn't stop. She wouldn't give him the satisfaction of seeing her break. Meanwhile, Brooke reached for Ridge, expecting victory, expecting him to sweep her into his arms. But instead, he stepped back. "I can't do this," Ridge muttered, running a hand through his hair. "I love you, Brooke. I always will. But I can't keep doing this cycle. It's not fair, to you, to Taylor, or to myself." Brooke's triumphant smile faltered. "What are you saying?" Ridge sighed. "I need to be alone. I need to figure out who I am without bouncing between the two of you. I won't humiliate Taylor by choosing you right after rejecting her. And I won't keep breaking my own heart either." For the first time in decades, Ridge was choosing himself. And in doing so, he left behind the two women who had defined his love story for years. Taylor walked out of that gala with her head held high. But once she was alone, the tears fell freely. She had given so much of herself to a man who had never truly been hers. But amid the heartbreak, a new resolve formed within her. She would rise from this. She would reclaim herself, her dignity, and her happiness. She had been Ridge's second choice for too long. It was time for her to be her own first choice. As for Brooke, she was left reeling. Ridge had always returned to her, no matter what. But now, for the first time, he was walking away. And that perhaps was the greatest heartbreak of all. And Ridge, he finally realized that love wasn't about choosing between two women. It was about choosing himself first. The love triangle that had defined their lives had been shattered, and in its place, new paths awaited each of them. Paths untainted by the past, filled with the promise of new beginnings. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.